is a moment when a woman can reveal attraction without saying a single word. Not through a confession, not through a text. Sometimes her body speaks first.
But can you actually read it?
Most men think they can, and that's exactly where they get it wrong. Because one signal means almost nothing, but when several signals appear together, that's when psychology gets interesting.
Because attraction isn't always as obvious as men expect.
And today, we're going to break down the subtle patterns that can reveal growing attraction, while also showing you the signals men commonly misunderstand. Because knowing the difference can completely change the way you approach a woman. Let's start with something deceptively simple: distance. When someone is comfortable around you, they don't always realize how much their body begins to move toward you. She may stand slightly closer, lean toward you when you're talking, turn her torso in your direction, or find small reasons to remain physically near you when she could easily leave. None of these signals proves attraction, but here's what makes them interesting.
People naturally move toward what captures their attention and away from what makes them uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean every woman who leans toward you is attracted to you. She could simply be engaged in the conversation. That's why context matters.
Exactly. You're not looking for one movement, you're looking for a pattern. And that brings us to the first surprise. The strongest signal isn't always what she does with her body. Sometimes it's what happens to her attention. Think about it. A woman who is genuinely interested may begin remembering tiny details you mentioned casually. She asks follow-up questions. She brings up something you said days ago. She notices changes in your appearance. She continues a conversation that could have ended. And sometimes she creates another opportunity to talk to you.
That's the part men often overlook. They expect attraction to look dramatic, but real interest can look surprisingly ordinary. A question, a smile, a reason to continue talking, a little more attention than necessary.
And when those behaviors repeat, now you're looking at something much more meaningful than a single body movement. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful signals in human interaction: the eyes. Not simply eye contact, but what happens around the eye contact. Does she look at you, look away, then return her attention? Does she maintain eye contact slightly longer during emotionally meaningful moments? Does her expression change when you enter the room? Does she appear more animated when she's talking specifically to you? These details can matter, but there's another trap.
Eye contact doesn't automatically equal attraction. Some people naturally make strong eye contact. Some are simply confident. Some are being polite. And some are trying to understand you. So don't turn eye contact into a fantasy. Look for the pattern around it.
Exactly. The eyes become more interesting when they are combined with attention, proximity, facial expression, and repeated engagement. And that's where our second surprise appears. Sometimes attraction isn't revealed by getting closer. It's revealed by becoming more aware of herself around you. She adjusts her hair, straightens her clothing, checks her appearance, changes her posture, becomes slightly more conscious of how she is presenting herself. Now, before you get excited, there's an important distinction.
Women adjust their appearance for many reasons. Maybe she's uncomfortable. Maybe she always does it. Maybe she simply noticed something was out of place. So don't assume. But if you repeatedly notice increased self-awareness, specifically when you're around, that's worth paying attention to.
And again, one signal isn't evidence. A repeated pattern is much more interesting. Here's another subtle behavior most people never notice: mirroring. You change your posture, and shortly afterward, she does something similar. You slow your speech, and she becomes calmer. You smile, and she smiles back naturally. You lean slightly forward, and she does the same. This doesn't mean she's consciously copying you. Human beings naturally synchronize with people they're comfortable and engaged with.
And sometimes you don't even notice you're doing it. When you're genuinely connected to someone, your rhythm can begin matching theirs, their pace, their expressions, their energy.
But the important part, mirroring alone doesn't prove attraction. It can indicate rapport, and rapport can exist without romance. That's why the strongest clues appear when several behaviors occur together. Here's where things become much more interesting. A woman may be attracted to you and still create distance. Why? Because attraction and comfort aren't always the same thing. She might be curious about you while still protecting her boundaries. She might enjoy your presence without knowing what she wants. She might feel attraction and uncertainty at the same time.
And that's something many people misunderstand. Feeling something doesn't automatically mean acting on it. A woman can be interested and still say no. She can be attracted and still want distance. She can enjoy your attention without wanting a relationship.
And that's why reading body language should never become a substitute for communication. The goal isn't to decode someone like a machine. The goal is to recognize possible interest without inventing certainty where none exists. So here's a simple rule. Don't focus on one signal. Look for 3 categories happening together. Attention. Is she consistently giving you more attention than necessary? Proximity. Does she repeatedly choose to remain near you? And engagement. Does she actively keep the interaction alive? Questions, conversation, eye contact, shared humor, remembering details, creating opportunities to interact. When these signals repeatedly appear together, you may have a much stronger indication of interest than any isolated gesture could provide.
But there's one final piece. The most important signal isn't whether she moves closer, it's whether she is comfortable continuing the interaction. That's where respect matters.
Because the biggest mistake a man can make is becoming so obsessed with reading signals that he stops actually communicating. Body language can suggest, it can hint, it can create curiosity, but it cannot give you permission. Only clear communication can do that.
So don't ask yourself, how do I make her want me? Ask, is there mutual interest here? That's a much more powerful question.
The most attractive man isn't the one who desperately searches for hidden signs. He's the one who can notice interest without becoming dependent on it. He observes, he communicates, he respects boundaries, and he never needs to force an answer that isn't freely given.
Sometimes attraction is obvious, sometimes it isn't. The real skill is knowing the difference.
Master the psychology, master your frame, and never confuse curiosity with certainty. Welcome to Shadow Emperor's Crown.